I've been reading the comment section. You guys have been saying I've been whining too much, haven't been doing enough positive videos, and I need to get in the spirit that this team has a bright future. Well, on today's show, I'm going to tell you why the information we heard from the NFL today is going to be big for your New York Football Giants this offseason. But hey, if you want more positive videos, positive Marsh, blindlessly optimistic Marsh, let me know. Go down right now and hit that thumbs up icon. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and this is big for the New York Football Giants as we look ahead to the 2025 NFL Draft and them potentially receiving not one, but maybe two third-round picks in the 2025 NFL Draft via compensatory selections. Over the Cap, who is the number one salary cap outlet for the NFL out there, Over the Cap and Spotrac, two of the best. I prefer Over the Cap a little bit, and they put out an article where they projected comp picks for the NFL and all the teams out there based on the 2024 free agency cycle and the players you lost compared to the players that you added. The Giants are projected to add a fourth-round comp pick, the first fourth-round comp pick for the 2025 NFL Draft because of Xavier McKinney signing a large contract and performing with the Green Bay Packers. So you might be getting another fourth-round pick for the New York Giants. And I say you are going to get an additional fourth-round pick. But you also might see that fourth-round pick jump up to a third-round pick. Over the Cap has done this article a couple years in a row now, and they are very accurate on their projections. So I'm taking it to the bank that the Giants are going to get a fourth-round pick, but there is a world where this fourth-round pick could actually become a third-round pick. This is what Nick Korte of Over the Cap says. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. One question that remains is if the NFL Management Council will continue to oddly view restructured contract as new contracts. If it no longer does this, it could be good news for the Giants and Dolphins. Xavier McKinney had an outstanding season in Green Bay with postseason honors, boosting his contract very close to a third round. Christian Wilkins, on the other hand, had a disappointing season in Las Vegas that was marred by the injury, dropping his contract down to the fourth round. But if there is a change, there's a chance either or both of these players could deliver a third-round comp pick instead. And look, if you could add another third-round pick to this draft, that would be huge for this organization. With where the Giants are at and the challenges they have coming down the road with the NFC East only getting better and better, the Giants need all of the draft picks that they can get. Joe Shane needs every at-bat at the dish when it comes to the draft to hit a home run. He hit a big home run. He hit a grand slam with that 2024 class. There are good players in that class that I think will be foundational pieces to this Giants roster next year and in the future. You're going to have the third pick, 34th pick, 65th pick, 104, and 134. 134 is the comp pick that Tankathon has projected you to get, and I believe that would be the pick if the Giants do stay with that fourth-round pick being given from the NFL. If the comp pick is upgraded from a fourth pick to the third pick, it likely would be pick number 100, which means the Giants would have a handful of selections in the top 100. I reached out to Tom Downey, lead NFL analyst here at Chat Sports, and I said, Tom, explain to me this whole compensatory pick situation and explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader. So let's talk about it. You look at this picture that comes from Over the Cap, and they show some cancellations of contracts. Tom Downey told me this on why the Saquon Barkley contract is essentially X'd out and canceled out due to the Drew Lock contract. He said, it's got to cancel out something. So even though they try to match it with the closest contract, it can't not count. So it jumps up to the order to Barkley's pick. So to be honest with you, the fact that Saquon Barkley's contract is canceled out in the compensatory formula for Drew Lock's, it sounds like some BS to me. But you know what? We're not going to be negative today. We're going to be happy that the New York Giants are going to be getting a fourth-round pick and maybe even a third-round pick number 100. That would be huge for this ball club. Coming up next, I'm going to tell you some more about some awesome news regarding the NFL Draft. But first, make sure you are subscribed because we're going to have this draft cycle covered like no one else here on YouTube. Multiple videos every single day. Mock drafts every single week. prospect ratings and evaluations, all coming up, and maybe a trip to the NFL Scouting Combine with exclusive interviews. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. Coming up next, more good news, and maybe how the Giants could add not one, not two, not three, but 4 more third-round picks via compensatory selections. I told you, we're getting drunk on optimism today because you guys have been wanting it in the comment section. That's around the corner. First, though, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Fume. Have you ever caught yourself reaching for a bad habit? Maybe it's that moment when you're with friends and you just want to feel like you fit in. Well, that's where Fume comes in. It's not about quitting. It's about finding a better alternative. Fume, the sponsor of today's video, has created an innovative flavored air device that's perfect for those moments when you want to break away from bad habits and still have something enjoyable to reach for. Fume is a award-winning flavored air device that draws flavor to your mouth, not your lungs. It's a great way to satisfy your oral fixation with non-toxic flavors, free from nicotine or vapor, and it's a safe-to-use anywhere device. My favorite flavor is crisp mint. It's refreshing and satisfying without any of those harmful effects you'd associate with other bad habits. Flavored air isn't like vaping. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors you could choose from, like crisp mint, orange vanilla. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, vapor, or combustion. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today, and if you order the Journey Pack now using my code ChatSports, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/chatsports or scan the QR code that you've seen on screen. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Shout out to Fume for sponsoring New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. All righty, could more comp picks be on the way for our New York Football Giants? The Giants would be in line for multiple comp picks, maybe 4, if Mike Kafka and Brandon Brown leave the New York Football Giants. As we know, Mike Kafka is the offensive coordinator that does not call plays for this team, and Brandon Brown is the assistant general manager to Joe Schoen. Mike Kafka has been interviewing with the New Orleans Saints, and he is set to have a second interview in person to be the next head coach of that football team. Tom Pelissero, NFL insider for NFL Network, says the Saints are flying in Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka today for a second interview for their head coaching job on Tuesday. That actually had to be rescheduled to this weekend due to the snow, but the interview, it is still going to happen. Kafka has been a finalist for 3 jobs in the past 2 cycles, now a longer look in New Orleans. Kafka is one of 2 people right now that are confirmed to have second interviews for the New Orleans Saints and their head coaching position. So knock on wood, and let's hope that Kafka does become that guy, because the Giants would be in line to get 2 third-round picks if just Kafka leaves. What about if a guy like Brandon Brown, your general manager, leaves to go be the general manager for the Las Vegas Raiders? Jordan Schultz says the Raiders will interview Giants assistant GM Brandon Brown in person on Monday for their GM. They did that. His first interview with the team was conducted virtually. A fast-rising executive with a scouting background, Brown won a Super Bowl with the Eagles during the 2017 season. So the Giants would get 2 compensatory third-round picks if just Kafka leaves. They would also get 2 if just Brandon Brown left. But let's say both of them leave this offseason. Let's say that Brandon Brown goes to Las Vegas, and let's say that Kafka goes to New Orleans. The Giants, if a team lost both a coach and personnel member, it would receive a third-round comp pick for 3 years starting this year. So you get a third-round pick this year, third-round pick in 2026, and a third-round pick in 2027. That would be awesome, but not even the best-case scenario. That would be if, let's say, Mike Kafka becomes the Saints head coach this year, Brandon Brown comes back to the Giants. Giants draft a franchise quarterback. Brown is credited with that selection, and then he leaves to go be a GM in 2026. If that happens, the Giants would have a third-round pick in 2025, third-round pick in 2026, third-round pick in 2027, and third-round pick in 2028. This is all because of the Rooney Rule, and both of them being minorities. If you lose a minority staff member, you are granted comp picks. So that'd be awesome, right? But you know what's even better? Not even better. It would be even, just more good news. Man, just a whole bag of good news today. The Giants having potentially 6, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 5, but 6 top 103 selections in the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's say that fourth round pick that you are going to get for McKinney going to the Packers, let's say that becomes a third round pick. And then let's say that the Giants do lose Brandon Brown, Mike Kafka, or both. You would get pick 100 and you would get pick 101. And you would have 6 selections in the top 103. Hitting on those picks, having 6 picks in the top 103 is how you turn a franchise around. That's how you build a concrete structure filled with talent. You win in this league by being able to hit in the NFL Draft. And with 6 shots on net in the top 103 selections, you need 6 starters on this football team. How's that for optimism? How's that for positivity? Potentially adding 2 third-round picks this offseason and a third-round pick next season and after that and after that and maybe even after that. Yeah, that would be pretty dang cool. Look, I understand there's been a lot of doom and gloom on this channel. You know what? I only call it like I see it. The Giants are 50-91 in the last 8 seasons. That is tied or close to tied at the bottom. They are in the bottom 3 with the New York Jets. Over the last 8 years, the Giants have been the laughingstock of the NFL. There's not been a lot of things to be positive about. And trust me, I want to see this team one just as bad as you guys. I do. I love this team. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I call it like I see it. And I owe that to you guys. I owe my honest opinion and my honest evaluation of this team. I am positive going into the future. I do think there is optimism to be had, and I do think there are success stories and a successful season or 2 or 3 or hopefully forever around the corner. But let's not forget, you're the most losing organization right now in the last 8 seasons, and the Giants have a long way to go. But I think they are almost on the right path. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram, @MarshallGreen_. And if you want more positive videos like this, hit that thumbs up icon. Alrighty, before we sign off, I want to give another thank you to Fume. Thanks so much to y'all for sponsoring today's video. Scan the QR code and use code ChatSports to get your free Fume Topper when you order your Journey Pack today.